When we think about engagement, I use this metaphor of ice creams in different flavors, if you will. And that's what we think about with the 4 flavors of engagement and how that all works. So in detailed communication side of the coin, we really are talking about specific areas in which we can improve engagement with employees. One of those things is line of sight. That means knowing how what they do every day relates to the firm's goals and results. They get it. They see the big picture. They understand. They have a financial understanding. They have a market understanding. They have a strategic understanding. And this gives someone a feeling as though they could be in control of what they do, and confidence. Second component is something called involvement. And we talked about nurturing the construction of meaning. What does that mean when something goes on? You know, the boss comes in, and we all know, we read the boss if they're late, if they're hurried, if they're angry, if they're sad. We read those things as the reality of the situation, despite what the posters might say in the lobby. So involvement nurtures construction of meaning. People can contribute with frontline insights when, in fact, they recognize that their perceptions, their feedback, and their ideas are valuable. Third, detailed communication. Oftentimes, with information, people really can get a hold on what's happening. Don't hide this. If it's good news, it's good news. If it's bad news, deal with it. People can understand the progress or lack thereof and can adjust their behaviors when they know. The biggest challenges here are dealing with transparency. A lot of times we don't want to know that something's wrong because we might fear people will abandon us. It's just the opposite. When things, when they abandon you is when they give up on you. They give up on you as being a good leader or someone that will tell them the truth. That's the problem. Calming fears of letting go. When you are in control as a mid or low-level manager, your only lifeline is that I know and I'm in control and I'll tell them what to do. Unfortunately, that's really a bad way to go. You have to let go of those fears and let people understand what's truly happening. Fashioning data that matters so that people can understand it. Then finally, we talk about reward and recognition. There's a famous radio station in every town. It's called WIIFM. What's in it for me? And that means that what we try to do is to give people the understanding that honest recognition for genuinely good performance will get you rewards. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. A friend of mine, Joe Gibbs, who was besides having several 3 or 4 Super Bowl rings, was also the head of Joe Gibbs Racing. When he coached the Redskins, he told me that he had a little weekly thing that for linemen that they would get a Barcalounger if in fact they did something well or performed better than everybody else. He said that motivation for guys that were making maybe $1 million or better a year was significant because it was bragging rights. It was the ability to say they actually did something. Problem sometimes is too much communication. We talked about this before. There are 3 kinds of communication. There's formal, there's system and infrastructure, and then there's leaders. Formal is that megaphone, the big one, the printed material, videos, web-based content, memos, announcements, blogs, all that good stuff. System and infrastructure are the processes, the systems, the structure, the policies, the procedures, the programs. They speak loudly. They tell people what's valued and what's not valued. It's espoused beliefs is what that happens to be. The biggest and strongest is formal leaders. When formal leaders with position and power set the tone, they set the tone. They set the tone of what they say and what they do and the connection between those 2 things. It is say-do. And when the leaders do what they say and say what they do, then we get good, clear signals and we can act upon those. One of the best companies to work for, worker satisfaction best practices, a willingness to express dissent, believe it or not, visibility and proximity to upper management, priority of internal to external communication, attention to clarity, a friendly tone matters. Things don't need to be grievous to make your point. And a sense of humor. These are all the kinds of things that we get in best practices workplaces. Finally, the quiz. What is meant by ESI equals CSI? Is it easy if you can see it? Extrasensory intelligence is equal to common sensory intelligence? If employees are satisfied, customers will be satisfied? Or this is an accounting term related to profit. Thinking music, da, 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 da. Yes, indeed, you have probably figured it out. If employees are satisfied, customers will be satisfied. The I stands for index and is a way to relate data to the two most important constituents in the organization, employees and customers.